Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm finally going to sit down and do my update for my first trimester. So I'm currently in my second trimester. I am 16 weeks. But the first trimester was so new and interesting, so many emotions, so many feelings. So I really wanted to do a first trimester update and really just, I don't know, share my feelings, my heart, and maybe hopefully it'll resonate with somebody. And yeah, so let's do this. So I feel like I want to start off by saying, kind of doing like what they call a trigger warning, that some things that I talk about might trigger people as far as like emotionally. I kind of want to give that warning, so because like I said, this is my opinions, my feelings, my journey, my pregnancy. I mean, it's great if you can relate or if you understand where I'm coming from, but if you don't, that's okay. And I don't expect everyone to understand. And I'll tell you right now that this is my first baby. I've never been pregnant before. I've never had to suffer a loss or a miscarriage. So some of the thoughts and feelings that came out of this first trimester are of course going to be dictated by some of that, you know, because that's all I know. I can't speak of things I don't know. So again, if you're one who's maybe suffered a loss or suffered miscarriage before, I mean, first of all, my heart goes out to you, but that's not something I can speak of and something I can relate to, and maybe you won't be able to relate to me, and that's all I want to say is that it's okay. So now that that's out of the way, when I first found out that I was pregnant, of course I was excited, and it was more of like, I kind of had a feeling because we were trying. It's not like it was complete surprise because we were trying, and I just had a feeling because that month before my period came, I just knew things were a little different. So I took a test, and sure enough, you know, I was pregnant. And I was excited, and the excitement that came from finding out was more of just the excitement and the love for Josh. Like, my heart immediately grew like 5 times just because the thought of Josh being a father, and sorry, the dog's right here. Barney, go over there, Barney. The thought of Josh being a father, and our family growing, and just us as husband and wife taking a new step together and a new journey together, all of that was sort of the emotions that I had. And the first 2 weeks, so I found out week 4 and 6, week 4 and 5, you know, I told my family, and there was excitement, and I didn't have any symptoms or anything. I wasn't feeling nauseous. All I felt was kind of like the same hormones that I feel like when I'm about to start my period. I get some of those, like, you know, a little bit sad, or not sad, but like emotional, and for some reason I crave like French fries and salty food, I guess. So, and I want to eat a lot. Like, that's the feelings I had, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then almost exactly like clockwork, like literally on the day that I was supposed to, or that I turned 6 weeks, that morning I woke up and I just was nauseous. Like, I threw up. So it was more than just morning. I was throwing up everything, all day. Nothing would stay down. It got really, really bad, to the point, like, I couldn't drink water because water would make me throw up. I couldn't drink Gatorade because Gatorade would make me throw up. I tried everything. I tried, you know, eating crackers first thing in the morning. I tried ginger ale or ginger. I tried that. Everything would make me throw up. Like, there was little things here and there that out of nowhere would sound good all of a sudden, like, oh, I feel like eating a Cheeto. I don't know why, so I would send poor Josh. I would send Josh to go get Cheetos because I'm like, I don't know, for some reason, I guess that sounds okay. So all I would eat all day would be a bag of Cheetos because everything else I tried to eat would come up. Or if you've ever had food poisoning, and you just throw up and vomit to the point where you're not even throwing up anything anymore. And you know, like, how exhausting that makes you. It gives you a headache, it makes you tired, you're dehydrated. So that's how I was feeling like every day. And then I would sleep all the time. And so again, it was, at first it was like, okay, this is what being pregnant is, you know, this is part of just pregnancy. And I wasn't scheduled to see a doctor or a nurse or a midwife or anything, because I'm going to a hospital, but I'm seeing midwives. So the midwives wouldn't see me until I was 9 weeks. So from those 6, 7, 8, 9, so those 3 weeks, I just, you know, I was like, I guess this is what it's supposed to be. But even in those 3 weeks, like, I was just so sad. And this is just where and I just kind of want to say right now too, there's no such thing as the pain Olympics, as I like to call them. And I've heard that before, the pain Olympics, you know, there's no, oh, I'm better than you, or you had it worse than me, or there's people who've had it worse. Like, I know I'm not, there's people who had it worse than me, there's people who've had it better than me, and I've had it worse than them. And again, this is my journey and my pregnancy, and I don't want there to be any comparing between anybody. So there's kind of a saying that I've heard, and I really liked it because I think it resonated with me, especially during this time. And it said, saying that you can never complain about anything because somebody has it worse than you is like saying you should never be happy because somebody has it better than you. And I think that really resonated with me, because especially when people find out that you're pregnant, they assume that you're excited and that you're happy, and that why else would you not be happy? So it's very hard. Like, the emotions that you go through are very hard, because if you're struggling inside with anything, with any type of like, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be, or man, this is really hard, or I'm just not feeling good, or, you know, I don't know, people, you almost have to put on a brave face for people, because when you think of pregnant girls, I mean, when you think of someone who's, you know, who was trying to get pregnant, now they're pregnant, and it's a little baby, and everybody loves little babies, and the mom is just always supposed to be so happy and excited and ready for all this love, and it should just be instant love, and sometimes it's just not like that. And for me, like I was saying, that rang true for me especially. And so when I would sleep all day, and I was sleeping a lot of times not even because I was exhausted, but because I was so tired of being sick. Like, I would sleep so that way, because I knew when I would sleep that I wouldn't feel sick and I wouldn't feel nauseous, and then I'd wake up and I'd still feel the nauseousness. And there was times where I would just like lay awake at night and I would cry. Okay, so okay, but there was times that I would lay awake at night and I would just cry by myself, because I felt so confused, I guess, and lost and sad and helpless and hopeless, because it's a lot of emotions. Not only are your hormones going crazy with things you've never felt before, but you know, I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of guilt, because it's like, you're not supposed to feel like this. I'm supposed to be excited. I'm supposed to be, you know, oh, it doesn't matter that I'm sick, because at least I know it's for a good reason and it's for a good cause, and not for a good cause, but for a good reason. And you know, I'm supposed to enjoy this, because even though it's terrible, at least I know that I'm creating a baby, and that's, you know, such a precious gift, and it's a blessing. And so when you don't feel like that, there's a lot of guilt that goes on. And so when I sorry. I knew I was gonna cry, so I had a tissue right here. So a lot of times I would just lay awake at night and just be sad and beating myself up, and it's hard to share that with someone who's not going through the same thing. Like, unless someone is going through the exact same thing as you, it's really hard for people to understand. Even people who have been pregnant before, it's hard because, like, even now that I'm in the second trimester and I feel better, all this that I'm talking about almost feels like a whole nother lifetime ago. Like, I feel so different now, you know. Now I am excited, and now now that I'm starting to feel more like myself, even just talking about these things was like, golly, that sounds so horrible. And I even am like, gosh, did I really think that? Was it really that bad? But when you're going through it and it's day in and day out, and you're just miserable because of how sick you feel, and I was just dehydrated all the time, and like I said, I couldn't eat anything, and I already like have a kind of like a gag reflex, as they call it, so I throw up pretty easily. I hate throwing up, but I can throw up pretty easily. Like, it's weird, I don't know. So like, I couldn't even walk into the kitchen. Like, for the whole first like 2.5 months of this pregnancy, I didn't even walk into the kitchen, Barney, because I just couldn't. Like, the smells, and it's not like our kitchen is disgusting, it's just I couldn't even, like, I don't even know. And I couldn't go grocery shopping because the smells and the raw meat and everything just disgusted the, it was gross, and I would be puking in grocery bags because I just couldn't be in there. And so when you're just so used to living a certain way, and you're so used to having your routine and your habits, and then all of a sudden, like, you can't do any of that. Like, I couldn't get out of bed because anytime I would get up, I would start getting almost like dizzy, like motion sickness. Like, I kind of have motion sickness in the car a little bit, like if I try to read in the car. Well, if I was just laying down and would start looking at my phone or anything, I would start getting motion sickness and I'd want to throw up, or I would throw up. And I was like just trying to eat whatever would stay down, but nothing would stay down. So it was more of like, oh, what am I going to eat that's going to taste okay coming back up? And then, like I said, after a certain point, you're not even throwing up food anymore. So all of that is just, what would run through my mind at night. Like, why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself again? I mean, am I really happy? Am I really excited that this happened? Like, I could have waited, couldn't I? Like, why are we in such a, not that we're in a rush because we've waited 3 years, but I was like, I could have waited longer, right? I mean, what was I thinking? And, and then just, there was a little bit of, not a lot because Josh is amazing, but there was resentment towards him because I would look at him and he's sleeping so peacefully. He could eat whatever he wanted and he wouldn't be sick. And I'd just be like, oh, it's not fair. I miss it because we were just not spending a lot of time together because I would be sleeping, and then when I wasn't asleep, I would just be laying down, and he would be over here in the living room just playing his game, like trying to stay out of my way and just let me rest and everything. And that was really hard. I'm like, I miss you. I miss doing stuff with you. And like, I don't even know who I am right now. Like, who is this person? I couldn't work out, which is, and I'm not saying like I'm all like, oh, I'm getting fat. Nothing like that. It was more just getting out and doing things. Like, I just couldn't. And it was just really a tough time. And I would have anxiety attacks at night because of, again, just the thought of like, maybe I'm not ready. And I know that they say that you're never really truly ready, but I was like, maybe I'm really not ready. Like, I'm selfish. Am I still so selfish that like those feelings of being still, am I too selfish, you know, because I'm not happy, I'm not excited, that I'm throwing up every second, and that I can't sleep at night because I'm so nauseous and sick, and I can't eat anything, and I feel like I can't breathe. And am I selfish that I'm not happy about that? And that for a long time, you know, the baby was just a thing in my stomach that was making me sick. And that feeling, I would get this overwhelming feeling of helplessness. And I remember thinking one night that I just wanted to like hit my stomach so hard because I was mad. I was so mad. And so, like, after you have a feeling and a thought like that, I mean, of course, guilt sets in right after. You're like, what's going on? I would never do anything like that. Like, why did I even have a thought like that, you know? And I just remember thinking that, and then I'm like, I don't want, you know, what if something were to happen? What if I were to have a miscarriage? Like, what kind of guilt would I have? Like, why did I even think anything like that? So when your hormones are like so out of whack on top of feeling that way, it can get really intense. And I would not be able to breathe because I would be like having my heart beating so hard, and it was so hard. Like, it was just really hard. And then just, I know Josh was like going through his own things because he just saw me like this and couldn't do anything about it. And it was really hard for him to just sort of not be able to, I mean, he'd helped the best way that he could, but he physically can't take anything from me. He can't say, oh, here, let me vomit for you. Like, he can't do that. And that was really hard for him too. And that made me feel so bad because I'm like, I'm sorry. And just seeing him like that was hard, and feeling like that was really hard. So when I was 9 weeks, you know, I went to the doctors, and they told me that and I got to see the baby. I didn't hear the heartbeat. I just saw the baby, and it was really little, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute, and it's really in there, but there was still a lack of connection. I still didn't feel, I didn't get this like, oh, like, I'm just gonna start crying. Like, I cried a little bit, but just more out of the like amazingness and the miracle that it is, like the fact that there's a little baby in there. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and that's my baby. And like, there was none of that. There wasn't. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was just a little cute thing on the screen, and I was glad it was safe and it was okay. But I was just still so miserable and sick that I was like, here's the thing that's making me sick right now. Whenever I was 14 weeks, we went to one of those boutique, like elective sonogram places where you pay to go get a sonogram, because we were about to announce, that was around Thanksgiving, so we were about to announce to everybody that we were pregnant. 'Cause before this, I hadn't said anything except to my family, but everybody else, I didn't want to say anything. And then, so we went to this little boutique because I was like, I just want to make sure that everything's okay. And on top of that, I really, really just wanted an updated picture and just something, because all I had was that one of when it was still it looked like a gummy bear at 9 weeks. And just that connection wasn't there. I was like, maybe now that I feel better and I see the baby again, it'll just be a different connection. And I'm so glad that I did that. I really am, because we got to get new pictures of the baby, and I know that hearing the heartbeat for the first time, oh, sorry. Hearing the heartbeat for the first time was exactly what I needed. it's what I needed, because there was just a moment of realization. I think that that this was real, and I can do this, and that when we saw the baby, I saw the baby on the screen, and they took a little, they take the profile shot of the baby, and for some reason, like, as soon as I saw that picture, it looked just like Josh to me. And I really needed that. I saw that and I was like, wow, this, like, sorry, hold on. Let me not try to talk through tears. But I really needed to see that, because when I saw, like, I was like, oh my gosh, Josh, it looks just like you. Oh my gosh. And I think that's when I had the overwhelming feeling of, like, this is our family. This is our baby. Like, it's you and it's me, and we made this. And I am blessed enough to be able to carry this baby, and I was so glad, and I felt so much better after that. And that's when my moment of connection came with this baby. And every day that goes by and the baby's growing and I started to feel it move, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. I really am. I'm so thankful to God that I was able to start feeling little flutters, I guess earlier than maybe some first-time moms do. I know a lot of first-time moms say they don't feel anything until 18 or so weeks, but I know I started feeling flutters at 14. I knew it. I knew that's what it was, and I'm so thankful for that, because I needed that too. I needed that to know that I can do this for you, for this baby, like for you, baby. And that that it's really there and it's alive, and it's its own little person already, and it's moving, and it moves so much. Like when we were getting the sonogram, like the lady was like, wow, this is a really active baby. It kept moving and it was crossing its legs and doing so many things, and I feel so much more connected, not just to the baby but to Josh. Like that's when I had my moment of connection, and I'm so thankful for it. I don't know if this baby will ever watch this video in the future, but if it does, I just want to say that, of course, you probably are the greatest thing that ever happened to me, and we love you so much. And it was a rough start, but you were so worth it, and I know it'll be worth it. I know. And it was just hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel when you're in that much darkness, but thank you to your father who did an amazing job doing the best he could, and just the support from my family as the best they could, and just getting through that first trimester was really tough, but I'm so glad, because I know that you're worth it. And I'm glad nothing happened to you. And I think I'm done crying. Jeez Louise. So I just want to say that thank you for making it this far in my video. If you watched all the way till the end, just talking and letting this all out and realizing that I've gotten past that all, just that's also really therapeutic in a way. And if any of you are currently watching and feeling this way or have felt this way, obviously you're not alone. And I know it's really hard sometimes to talk about because we feel like we're gonna be judged, that if you were to ever say anything that's out of the norm of what a mom should say or what a pregnant blessed person should say, people are going to judge you for it, because it does happen. It does happen. So we hold it all inside and we keep it to ourselves, and then we just, it's hard to get through it all by yourself. So I'm going to keep doing these updates, and from now on it's all forward, so continue with updates on the second trimester, and we find out the if it's a boy or girl really soon, so we'll be having a gender reveal, just all these exciting things that are going to be happening. And then of course moving to Virginia, and we're going to be giving birth over there instead of here in Texas. So a lot of good things happening, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you. And I will talk to you later. Bye.